Hi Max, I imagine you know my first question. Was the move on George
Sorry?
intentional? My first question has to be, was the move on George intentional when you turned in?
Does it matter?
I think so, to people watching.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. That's great. I mean, I prefer to speak about the race than just one single moment.
The moment itself got you a 10-second penalty though, and that pushes you back down to 10th, so it affects your driver's title hopes this year.
If there are any. So I think we are way too slow anyway to fight for the title. I think that was clear again today. Yeah, we tried to do a three-stop, and I think it was quite good. It was quite racy, but we also needed it because we had actually quite a bit of degradation on the tires. So I think that was good. Unfortunately, then of course the safety car came out at the end, and we basically ran out of tires to use, and the hard tire was clearly not the right tire. I mean, when you only have 6 laps to go, everyone can go flat out, and yeah, I was severely grip limited on the hard.
Just before that moment, it was like, would you rather be a sitting duck in third or a sitting duck in first had you stayed out for the safety car or not pitted when you did and just tried to cling on to those
course,
cars?
afterwards, yeah, I mean, we have to look at it again. Of course, new tires, or at least fresh tires, they do make quite a bit of a difference as well. So I think no one really expected maybe that the hard tire was so poor. But yeah, when it was only 6 laps, maybe it would have been better to stay out, yes. But that's, of course, a bit easier to say right now.
And just finally for me, leading up to the end of the race there, you were saying in the car that the ride is completely broken. You were unhappy about Lawson and Behrman's tussle in front of you, and then on the radio when GP came on and said, you know, you need to give the place back, there was a lot of frustration going on in the car. Is that what resulted in the move at the end of the race? Is that where it came from? Because
No.
you pull off something like the move in Imola, and we all see what an incredible driver you are. And it's horrible to see that shine taken off.
Is it?
With a comment about that. I think so, for fans and for kids watching, I think so.
Yeah? Okay, well, that's your opinion.
Yeah?
Yeah,
So
we
you-
leave it there.
All right, thanks, Max.
This interview started as any other interview, and it was normal for her to ask the question if the move on Russell was on purpose. Max didn't want to answer that, and it's okay, but by the end totally gave her opinion on what happened, starting with shining in Imola with that overtake, and then continued with the kids. What was that? I mean, is she trying to portray Max as the villain? But what about the kids watching Max? What about World Hunger Max? Do you ever think about that? The guy got the penalty for what it did. Maybe it should have been 10-second stop and go penalty, but even that would have not made any big difference. We have a saying in my country, not only that we lost the donkey, but now even the flies doesn't leave us in peace, which means he lost what's important to him, and now he has to worry about flies sucking out what's left of his blood. Something like that. Anyway, leave the guy alone. He is a rare species who still races with his heart. So goodbye for now.
Okay, well, that's your opinion.